Hey, thanks for joining me today on this quick mini lesson here on jazz chords on the ukulele. I love teaching jazz, swing, gypsy jazz. This is the chord routine I generally have my students do in order to master their inversions. The point of it is to be able to play anywhere on the fretboard and to have the shape, a chord shape, for C major 7 anywhere. C major 7, C major 7, C major 7, C major 7. We want to be able to be anywhere on the fretboard and be able to have a nearby chord shape for some smooth voice leading for chord melody. So that's why this is so important. It's very beautiful too if you're playing some solo jazz ukulele. So let's get started with the lesson. Okay, so we're going to start here on the root position. It's actually not a root position, but many of you know this shape. We're going to make it a major 7. We flatted that root to the major 7. And on Patreon, I'll have the full bonus video lesson that will go over every little detail. For now, you can just use this video as a routine with the tabs above here on the side so that you can look at it and memorize these shapes. But that is a 7 and that's a root on top. That's generally how I like to think, okay? So we have C major 7, and also know your formulas. C dominant 7, we flat the 7. C minor 7, flat the 3rd, now flat the 5th. C minor 7, flatted 5, and then C dim 7. And that will be notated with a circle and then the 7. C diminished 7 and C circle 7, that's the symbol. Going back to the half dim, the C half dim, it could be called a minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished. On a symbol, you'll see a circle with a line through it often. So you never know, what the arranger of the chart will use, so you just want to be prepared. Okay, so the next inversion here is this shape. We got the root and the 3rd. The root and the bass, I have a low G as I mentioned, and the 3rd on the top, the major 3rd. To make it a dominant 7, we got to flat the 7 right here. And again, check out the video on Patreon for the full length video. Minor 7, we flatted the 3rd. Minor 7, flat 5, and dim 7, fully dim 7, okay? Okay, so now the next shape here, this one's a little bit tricky to get the configuration, so take it slow. It's a little contorted. I'll show you my favorite hack later. It's actually on Patreon if you remember. Just check out the magic chord shape. You'll see me talking about this. That's C major 7 3rd and the 5th on top. To make it dominant, flat the 7. To make it minor, flat the 3rd. Okay, and minor 7 flat 5, and fully dim. And if you haven't noticed already, the fully dim is the same inversion so far for all three. And yes, it's going to be the same for the last one as well. It's the only 7th chord that you're fortunate enough to be able to just slide around this every 3 frets, in this case, the parallel, and for it to be the same inversion. Okay, the final shape here. Great job on going through this routine with me. Remember, take it through all 12 keys. Take it slow at first, or maybe just grab your favorite song and then work through those particular chords instead of the huge task of just going through all 12 keys. So this final shape here, beautiful, this inversion here. By the way, it's the same as doing this. We all know that. Easy C major 7, but here it is up an octave. And actually, a case in point, that's why it's great to know all 4 inversions. You never know where you're going to be on the fretboard again, and we want to be able to go to the nearest inversion for smooth voice leading. C major 7, that's with the 7 on top. I know it's getting tight up here. C dominant 7, we want to make it minor, you flat the 3rd. See, we can't do that down there, unfortunately. Minor 7 flat 5, I bar often. But if you want to make it a little bit cleaner, get all 4 fingers in there. And now dim 7, take that flat 7 and double flat it, aka 6. So we have this. And that's why that diminished 7 trick works. There's a theory behind it. If you're wondering, why do I slide that around every 3 frets? Great job on going through the routine with me. I'm going to just do a little bonus review with you here. We're actually going to go through all 4 inversion shapes across the fretboard here. Let's start with C major 7. C major 7. C major 7. C major 7. C dominant 7. C dominant 7. C dominant 7. C dominant 7. And I say dominant 7, of course, I'll just say C7 on the chart. C minor 7. C minor 7, C minor 7. This is a great study, C minor 7. C minor 7 flat 5, C minor 7 flat 5. Next inversion, C minor 7 flat 5, and C minor 7 flat 5, C diminished 7. Easy. That's the easiest one. It feels like cheating when I do that C diminished 7. So that's the routine. Great job. Please consider joining my Patreon page, my online music community. Have a good community for us to meet each other and to practice together. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.